quick content note here before we begin this episode of What Am I Rolling? This episode's one-shot, The Zone, has mature sci-fi horror themes. Specific content warnings for this game include violence and self-injury, arson, mentions of warfare and guns, descriptions of mutations, body horror and gore, hallucinations, and variations thereupon. So, if you're not in the right headspace just now, please feel free to stop listening and come back if or when you're ready. Thanks again, and stay safe, my friends. Hello, and welcome to What Am I Rolling, a twice-monthly RPG one-shot podcast, hosted by me, Fiona. This is part 2 of the Zone one-shot, so make sure you listen to the first part before continuing on with this episode. For this story prompt game, we learnt the rules as we went, so I'm not going to go into too much detail here. But, essentially, the players take turns as directors of a scene, establishing where the characters are, what the initial challenge is, and then calling the scene when they determine it to be resolved. The players have access to 3 moves. Take stock, something's not right, and not so easy, which help move the narrative forward and cause friction between the characters. One by one, characters will fall and perish to the zone until only one survivor remains. When they make it to the centre, they will ask if their deepest, darkest wish can be granted. And that's it. That's all you need to know up top for the zone. A massive thank you to our players, Jency, Alex and Ben from Roleplay Retcon, a TTRPG podcast that remakes the movies that let you down. Go check out their show over on the One Shot Network and wherever you listen to podcasts. For context, we played our version of the Zone using the official free VTT, which you can go check out at play.thezonerpg.com. So you may hear us referring to aspects of that whilst we play. I do want to take a moment though to say that the physical version of the Zone, which has incredible, gorgeous art, has a lot more rolls, mutations and twists. We barely scratched the surface in our playthrough, so if you enjoy listening to this, I highly recommend you go grab a physical copy. It will be so worth your time. One last thing before we begin. Naturally, there are times in this one-shot where the players and myself, mostly myself, get the rules wrong or forget something plot-wise. Whilst we always endeavour to stick to the rules wherever possible, at the end of the day, we all make mistakes, and what matters most is that everyone enjoys themselves. So, with all that out of the way, let's play The Zone. So we'll move to the campfire. So the expedition rests their weary bones. So this was cut to a little bit later in the evening. So beyond this point is the most dangerous part of the zone. Soon, the characters will die, but for a few hours, you are safe. We're going to go around and each share our theories about the nature of the zone. And now is a good time for any unresolved character relationships. This might be your last chance. And when we're done, we'll just end the scene. And you'll notice there's no take stock. There's no, it's not so easy. There's not, something's not right. It's just us taking a moment to sort of take stock and then just go. So we'll set it up I think we've definitely moved away from the village. I think we're out in the open. Like we've gone into I don't know how anyone else pictured this, but I just imagined it was like rolling fields and then this random sort of block of flats and then this village. And so we've gone further on from that and we're just burning God knows what, bits and pieces that we found. It's quite a small fire that we're all sort of huddled around.
Packages and letters.
Yes, of course, yes. So we took a whole post back. I'm sure it's not treason to burn letters and stuff? I can't remember.
I mean, in a weird zone, illegal, I think it's fine.
It is quite illegal. So we're burning these things to keep warm, and we've got various rations and stuff. We're all just sat around and it's cold, and we're all looking at each other in the firelight where obviously we're seeing some people with new faces, quite literally on the back of their heads. We've got...
That's the funniest thing you've ever said.
We've got, obviously, I think, Thor, your leg, we've taped it up as best we can, but maybe there's a couple of residual sort of like roots.
Twigs.
Yeah.
The roots, yeah.
Which are, I think they're incredibly sensitive. The pain nerves on it are.
Yeah, I think it's difficult for a Thor to walk at this point.
Yeah. And Han, like, I think you can look down at your chest and there's like 3 like thin lines which I had opened up, and they look like scars, like surgery kind of scars. So it's quite neat, and the flesh and the skin feels very tender if you touch it.
And it's yellow.
It's yellow, yeah, 100%. So we're all sort of sat round. Would anyone like to start about either sharing a theory about the nature of the zone, or does anyone want to have a scene with someone?
So, like, Domingo Xavier is he's just sitting and he's just staring into the fire, and he hasn't said anything for a long time. And Domingo Prime face is quiet, and then you hear, "I started the fire." From the face on the back of his head. "I started the fire. I killed that woman. She wasn't supposed to be in the building, but I killed that woman."
Thor is going to stand up, even though it's so difficult, and walk over and sit closer to Domingo and put their hand on Domingo's shoulder and say, "Domingo, may I sit with you for a while?"
And the face on the back of the head says, "Yes."
Thor is gonna keep their hand on your shoulder. "Domingo, would you like to share what's weighing you down?"
And the other face says, I sent a lot of people. I sent a lot of people out here, and they didn't come back. A lot of locals, we used a lot of locals for that. They didn't come back. And for a while, I was just doing paperwork, right? I was just paperwork. It wasn't really my decision. It was never I didn't set up. I didn't set up the expeditions. I just did the paperwork for it. I just made it so they could do the expedition. I started to decide that that's pretty evil. I saw burn that building down. I said, I'll do something about it. And that woman's inside. It wasn't supposed to be anyone in there. I forgot that the janitorial staff come in at the end of the day. And I just thought I could be a hero. I hated that job. I hate the FBC. But I can't go back now. They don't know it's me yet, but they will. It'll take them a month, tops. Figure it out. You can't get away with anything anymore. There's cameras everywhere. Backup servers. Thought I'd come out here. Be a hero. I'm not a hero.
Thor is just going to squeeze your shoulder a little bit and nod and say, "I can tell that this weighs heavily on your heart, on your soul. But I can also see that there is so much good in you, and you try to do the right thing. And sometimes bad things happen, and I'm sorry that that happened. But here you are, trying to make things better, trying to do the right thing. And sometimes we just have to let it go. Sometimes we have to forgive ourselves."
And then the front of Domingo's face looks at you and he says, "Oh, were you talking to me? I'm sorry. I was just sorry. I really zoned out there."
"Oh, that's okay. That's okay." And Thor is just going to take their hand off your shoulder and just look into the fire again.
I think if anyone is to look at what Dr. Spineless is up to, you can see that she's got out a little, from her backpack, seems to be one of those pinning boards, as we said about with butterflies and stuff like that, and she's putting together the bits of the butterfly that was slashed together,
but it's almost like a jigsaw puzzle, but it's obviously missing pieces, and is using her needle and thread, which I don't know if Han is like, hey, that could have been used for me. And she just spends the time sewing it back together. And then she sort of goes to her face, and there's still like the slightest bit of blood that's still bleeding. So she struggles and like sort of like tries to wipe it off onto her trousers.
I think at that moment, Han walks up to Dana
Mm.
and kind of brushes off his pants a little bit, sits down, says, Doc, you saved my life back there. A little bit, maybe.
Well, I was just doing what was good for the mission.
Yeah. Well, I know I was rather harsh on you earlier, though maybe your actions warranted it, maybe a little bit. But that is no reason for me to try to get you kicked off this mission. And I apologize for that.
I see. Well, don't be worried. I have had plenty of bad press in my time. I've been kicked off many things, medical boards, out of roles at a local hospital. What's one more to that list? Tell me, you're here to save people. Would you have saved me if it was the other way around?
I did try to save you from your little pin board there earlier. Wasn't so successful, but that's why I'm here. Try to get all of you out of here. Hopefully, if any of us can get out of here.
Indeed. If the and I point to your chest. If that hadn't worked, I don't know what I would have done. Probably killed you and spared you the suffering.
Yeah, you could have sewn me up or something. I don't know.
I don't want to waste good thread, do I?
Okay, sure. It's good chatting with you, Doc. And he walks off to the far side of the campfire.
I call after you. You're going to try and kick me off this mission, at least do it to my face and talk to me directly. Dismissed.
He says noted. And he kicks a pebble into the fire and goes over there.
Thor is going to look around at everyone and say, what is this? What is happening here?
Do you know, like, nobody really, they don't really know what fungus is. They don't really know what mushrooms are. They're like not plants. They're not animals. And like everything else in the world that's alive is a plant or an animal, except for mushrooms. I think this is it. This is just new mushroom land. I think maybe we'll be mushrooms before the end of it. You know what? I'd be okay with that. If I get to be a new kind of mushroom, I'd be okay with that.
Oh, don't put yourself down. You're quite a fun guy as it is.
You know, I'm shocked that it took us this long into this for someone to make that joke.
I think this is all very interesting. And yes, I do think there's something with the fungi, but I think there's something more about it. I think whenever we encourage and add new elements to the experiment changes. And currently we have, and I point around to all of us, new elements. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the final. I think our presence here is the thing that changes stuff. I think it puts things here. Like, why would it have a block of flats with lots of signs of life but no people in it? And the next thing we see is a village that's going to be completely destroyed, but signs of like a lifestyle, like people live there. I think it's testing us. The barrier itself is not there physically. It's what we see. It's what we perceive. So I think it's maybe some after image of previous people. What they think of home or in their final moments. And it brings them here. The boundary, the zone brings them here to life. So we get to play it like all the world's a stage.
Well, yeah. You always think of thoughts as this like abstract thing, right? It's a thing that's only in your own head. What if there's a mushroom that could make all your thoughts project out. All your fears are your fears, and all your dreams are your dreams. So they're not just in your own head anymore, on your own head anymore.
That sounds like magic.
I don't know. I think you show someone a DVD player from the 15th century and they'd say the same thing.
It's a pretty old DVD player.
What about you, Chaplain? Where does this lie within your preaching, your teachings?
You know, there are a lot of theories about the end of times. I think a lot of different religions and a lot of different spiritualities have these things about them in common where they all look at humanity and the sins of humanity and how far we go before it's too far. And maybe some being punishes us, or maybe it's our own hatred that builds up and just overflows. I think this is not something that we can explain through science. I don't think this is just mushrooms that have created this. I think this is the beginning of the end. Or maybe at least it's just a higher being reminding us that these are the things that could happen. Or maybe it's a little bit of hell just leaching through. I don't know. But I think the people who were here before, actually, Dana, I think you might be onto something with your theory. I think their souls are still trapped here. I think they're still here, and I think they can't get out through the barrier. And so I want to save them.
Let's hope we find them.
Han doesn't have a theory.
Mm.
Han just wishes there was a way to send a message to the next guy. Tell him to bring a flamethrower.
Have you tried sending out a series of numbers?
I haven't.
As we sort of end the scene, the fire spits and crackles, and the letters that we burn start to fly up in the air. And yeah, as we see little bits of paper, obviously slipping off into the smouldering ashes, we see those lines of like numbers, as if typed out on a typewriter, go up into the air and out.
Nice.
I'm now going to end the scene. I'm going to move on. So, Alex, it is your turn
My
next.
turn.
Yes.
Arrived at the forest, you decide what form it takes. An impossible rainforest, deep with every shade of green, iridescent, with eye-popping colorful species that should not exist in this climate. Golden light permeates the eternal birch forest. All whites and bright red fall foliage, shimmering dust seems to follow. Thick, overgrown, gnarled root systems and bulging mushroom-laced trunks loom maze-like, glinting eyes from a watch from burrows. I think we gotta do that one, Pim.
I think we gotta do that one.
It sounds like Genesis lyrics. Like, bulging mushrooms.
Bulging mushrooms.
Lace trunks loom maze like glinting eyes.
Watch from burrows. Prompting a scene. Encounter a vision of something that used to be here, triggering a phobia. So we leave our campfire, and I assume we're following some sort of rudimentary path through all of this. It's not like a stone road or anything, but it's definitely been clear cut. The foliage hasn't reached onto this path yet, and it leads into this kind of dark and dank forest that's like the trunks and trees are so massively large. Like if you've ever been to the redwood forest in California, things are just impossibly big. Dead tree trunks are laying across and they're just covered in these huge mushroom caps. And the mushrooms, they are not only big, because I've used big a lot in describing
also
what's going on,
huge.
but they're also huge and
Ginormous.
large.
And enormous. Are any of them small, perhaps?
There's some that are small,
Oh.
but they're on their way to being big.
Okay.
The whole area is just thick with spores.
Mm.
Ew.
You see some rotting animal corpses that the fungus is starting to break down. And yeah, let's take stock of the area.
Sounds good. I'm going to take smell this time, guys.
Nice.
I'm going to take that. The whole time we've been in the zone, it's starting to, all the stuff starts to merge. We tried to sleep a little bit at the campfire, but we didn't. So it's time is like a little bit hazy for all of us. But the most important thing is that it's not rained at all. It's been pretty clear, or at least cold, but we've not had any massive change in precipitation or weather. But the whole place smells of it. It's my favorite word, petrichor, of that sort of like that, as if the rain has just happened, and like it's just that smell of earthiness that is everywhere, which is mixed in with the decay. But this is that, the mud feels very fresh and earthy around here.
When we're walking through it, first of all, that smell of petrichor, the dampness of the air, it feels kind of very cool, like almost cold, but not quite cold, but very cool and damp. And we can feel it kind of seeping in. It gives us the shivers and raises the little goosebumps on our arms. But also the spores that the air is thick with, the tiny little touches when we walk through them, it feels like tiny little pinpricks on our skin.
Ooh.
Almost electric, almost icy, almost painful, but not. Just the tiniest little pinpricks, like walking through an icy cold mist almost.
I think that it is so persistent and consistent that we don't notice it right away. But there is like, you ever walked past like a substation, like a power substation or something, and there's that hum that you almost don't hear? You
like a buzz.
Like you internally, yes, there's this like hum in the air, an electric hum in the air.
Ooh.
All right, we encounter a vision of something that used to be here, triggering a phobia. Does anybody have a phobia they'd like to get triggered here?
My phobia is like being like consequences, like the consequences of things I've done, like which I don't know. I would not qualify that as a phobia. I would call that a very reasonable fear, but yeah, consequences. You're all just following words. You thought that was all of you. I think it'd be interesting if there was like evidence of there being some kind of like gallows here or something at one point.
Okay.
Ooh, interesting. Like being on trial.
A place where people were punished for things.
I think there's definitely a bough that comes off of one of these trees, and about halfway down, directly over the path, is a rope and a noose.
I think something's not right here. I think we see this bough, the rope. There are like, we've talked about these mushrooms being everywhere, but actually I think there's a big congregation of them at the around it, as if they're watching, as if they're waiting for something to happen.
Like a fairy circle?
Yeah, fairy circle, but there's like lots of them, almost like a crowd.
Yeah.
So we have to step through them if we're going to try and pass them.
You know how fairy circles are kind of cool when you see one? This one's not cool.
This one's not
This was
cool.
really not cool, yeah.
Oh, it's worse than that.
Yeah, how's it worse than that?
There's the whole crowd of mushrooms, and it does make like a circle around it. But on the inside, you know how fairy circles, it's because the mushrooms start in the middle and they eat everything in the middle and then they grow out around it. That's where they spread, and they're spreading outward. Everything on the inside of the fairy circle is completely black and dead, but in the very center, right underneath the noose, is some fresh blood, a pool of fresh blood.
Oh no!
Like a lot of blood.
Yeah.
Like not just a stain. Like we're talking standing blood.
If you step in it, it will make a splash. It is a pool.
Wow, there you go.
But maybe that also affects Fiona's.
It does. It does.
phobia.
Yeah, Dana stops right there. She does not get any further, and her eyes are fixated on this like this pool of blood.
I hand you another Ziploc baggie.
I slap at your hand, put it away.
Was there any way to get around this without having to go through it?
We can go off the path. We can just go around the trees a little bit, right? We'll be able to find our way back to the path.
Jency, it's not that easy.
I was about to click on it, and I was like, not yet.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Go for it, Jency.
No.
No! Jency, no!
Okay, no, and the zone mutates everyone in the expedition. So I have to explain how this comes to pass and how my character mutates, then click here to dismiss. Okay, so I'm going to roll first to see what the mutation is.
Yeah,
I'm going to look at the chart and see how it can affect all of us.
Yes, I like that. That's cool.
Damn it.
All right, y'all. I chose 1.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And one of the things for 1 is the word tree.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
We're going to attach an emotion to this. We're going to mutate our brains. I think this is the first brain mutation we've done.
Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah.
So we're going to attach, how many of these do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, there's only 8. Oh, I have a D8. I'm going to roll a D8, and we're just going to heart of the dice.
Alrighty.
Heart of the dice.
We have the rage of the tree.
All right. I rolled 7, so that's love.
Wow.
A bunch of tree-loving hippies.
That's okay.
We got to literally hug trees.
So here's what happens. So while we've been on the path, we haven't been touching the trees or anything like that. We've just been going through this path that's already been cut out. But as soon as we make our way off of the path, we are just filled with this love. There's almost ecstasy, this deep love for the forest and for all of the trees in it. And I think it makes it to where we don't want to get back on the path. Because we love them so much. Why would we ever want to leave?
Yeah, I definitely see like a montage of us like going through and like our hands are like going from like tree bark to tree bark.
Just walking into the forest.
Yeah. Maybe even like the doctor will rub her face against the tree bark, like exacerbating that damage. And I think as well, like it rubs away a bit more of her skin and more of that stuff, almost like the stained glass mosaic appears. There's like a proper cracked cheek.
And the same thing happens with Thor's roots. They start, the ones that are still kind of sticking out a little bit, start to try to intertwine with the roots of the trees.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to get out of this, though.
We just keep walking to the next scene, that's all. But
we walk through the forest instead of on the path.
Yeah, we walk through the forest instead of on the path.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's that easy.
I think that was Alex.
Yep, you said it.
Yes, but the zone mutates you, triggering a much more serious challenge. So I've rolled rainbow.
Cool.
Ooh, interesting.
That's very Annihilation.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Make something beautiful. Make something like it doesn't have to be all gross.
I want to say that it affects my sight. I've already got like a flower thing going on with my eyes.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And I start seeing things in a spectrum that I've never seen before.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You see new colors? You see the shrimp color?
The shrimp colors.
I see the shrimp colors. I see the radioactive shrimp from Walmart. And it puts me on another path, and I just start barreling in a direction completely opposite to where we were all going.
Oh,
Shit. All right. I think that's good. I
think
follow
that's good.
you instantly.
Yeah, Thor does too.
I want to get away from the blood, and I'm sure Nico wants to get away from those judging mushrooms.
Yeah, and Thor just doesn't want to be by themselves, so
100%. All right.
All right, I think that's a good enough place to end the scene.
Yes.
it's good you did that because I was so close to clicking something's not right.
Something's not right.
Something's not right.
All right, Ben. Let's go.
It's my turn.
Yes.
Can we move? Can we move into the... I want to hit this fake card so bad.
Let's do it. See who's got it.
Go.
Yeah.
Ah!
Oh no.
So this says, the chaplain, Thor Connor, must die in the coming scene. They cannot be stopped by not so easy cards, only by another player asking to claim their fate, even after the scene is underway. After death, Jency will continue playing turns ... as the zone.
Yes.
I accept my fate.
Whoa. All right.
I am the director. My character must die here.
It's so
Oh,
much power.
my screen looks very interesting right now. Do y'all see this?
It's got a red border to
It
it.
definitely
red
everything
border.
just turned like red and
It's
everything.
red.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Here are our options. A luxurious walled community with an ornate gate, an all-inclusive gilded fortress for the reclusive misers who could afford it, a low-key suburb, cul-de-sac, plastic basketball hoops, backyard barbecues, cars still in driveways. People knew their neighbors here once. Derelict suburban sprawl, half-boarded up houses, and vacant trash-covered lots. Vermin peek out, perhaps other creatures do too. We're going to go with number 1.
Yeah.
A luxurious walled community with an ornate gate. An all-inclusive gilded fortress for the reclusive misers who could afford it.
Oof.
Okay. The expedition learned something about a character that changes everything. What did you have to hide to be accepted by the others? Why did you believe it was necessary? We barrel through and we come out the other side of the forest, and the trees were so thick, but all of a sudden it just ends. There's just a stark tree line. And then beyond that, there is this lush green grass, this beautiful ornate gate with a big wall around it. And it's so beautiful. The wall looks like it's made out of white marble. And the gate is beautifully carved wrought iron. But it's open. The gate is already open to us. And inside, there are just these absolutely gorgeous mansions with, again, lush green lawns. And it looks like people could still be living here right now. Everything looks like it's been well taken care of and that it hasn't decayed or anything. And let's take stock.
As we're making our way in, I think the gates, whilst they're shut, there's no electronic. There's still that static in the air from before, but we can just open the gates. And as we're going through, I think we're still getting back to our senses. So that feeling of like, I want to touch the trees and all that sort of thing is here, but there's no trees here. So therefore we're like drawn to the walls and to the grass. And it all feels like synthetic. It feels too smooth. Like anything that the walls are like, oh, it's pure marble, but there's no brick. We can't see how they've been made. It almost has that very smooth edge to it. And the grass itself, when you feel it, it has like a little plasticky taste, not taste to it, but a plasticky like feel to it.
Yeah.
Eating it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're all doing that Japanese game show. We have to figure out if chocolate.
Yeah. Is it cake? Yes. That's all of this is. It feels
None
like
of it is
marble. Yeah. It all feels fake, but it's done in such a way that it looks so perfect.
And like as we walk around, we'll hear like a snippet of sound, as if like we have walked into an active and populated area, as if someone is kicking a soccer ball around. We'll have someone kick a soccer ball, and
Ooh.
then we'll just step 1 inch out of where we were a second ago and won't hear it anymore. There's just these like tiny pockets where we can like hear a soundscape of life, but we don't see anything.
Ooh. Like we're like, if it's the soccer ball, if we turn around the corner, do we see the soccer ball, or we just don't see anything?
There might be a soccer ball, maybe. It doesn't. There's no one kicking it.
Sure.
Yeah. Have you ever like been to one of those places, like in a museum or something, where if you stand in just the right place, you can, and someone can stand on the other end of the room and you can hear them as if they're like talking right next to you?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
that kind of sensation. Like the sound is coming from nowhere.
Like a whispering gallery type thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh. That's such a weird image. That is, in my head, it's like not sparse, but like big buildings that are but are wide apart, and then just be able to hear someone next to you.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The only thing I can think of
Mhm.
is we come across this large mansion, and we come across the driveway, and there's one car there, and it's a really nice, like old car, but it's been well maintained. It looks like it's new almost, but all the doors are open, and the trunk is all the way open. And it looks like there's bags in the back of it, but they have all been gone through and kind of torn apart. Not like torn, but like they're all open, and the clothes that were in it are all disheveled, and some have like fallen onto the ground.
Ooh.
But otherwise, it's just still. Like nothing of it is moving. It's just this weird, singular point of dishevelment in all of this like pristine area.
Mm.
That's the sound of the radio starts, and we hear the sounds of a sermon being talked about, and I think we recognize the voice as Thor's voice.
Oh,
That feels
Ooh.
like something's not right.
I love that. Something's not right. I love it.
What's not right about it?
Yeah, I like that it's your voice, but it's like the sermon is we've heard a very like positive. You've been kind of more of a like sort of hippie spiritualist person. I've been getting a lot from that. Like, yes, you use your religion to like comfort whatever it is. It's been a little vague what it is, but you have been a sort your whole thing has been, yeah, I've found a lot of comfort in this thing I believe in, and I'm going to share that with people, and I will help them be comforting. That's my job on this pretty scary mission. But this is I don't know if it's like a sermon of damnation, but it is a sermon of like like anger, like a sermon of like just violent words, violent, angry words, which is a thing we've never heard from you.
I do have it's worse than that.
Yes.
Mhm.
The words, yeah, they are violence, but they're directed towards Thor. It's almost like a self-talk. Just let me know if that's too much, but
Yes. No. Yes.
yeah. Okay. And just saying over again, how could you? No one will listen to you. You're nothing. No one's going to listen. No one listens to you. Just, but it's like
Yeah.
a mantra, almost like a psalm or similar, that sort of way of thing. And it's, yeah,
Oh, like the cadence is like a sermon.
yeah,
It's definitely has that preacher vibe, but it's the words themselves are preaching damnation to Thor. I
yeah.
love that. I
Yeah.
love that so much.
Great.
Okay. Then you know what? I'm just gonna lean into it then. This is gonna be about my character.
Heck yeah, let's go for it.
Thor stops dead in their tracks. And both of his hands go up to his head, and he just falls on his knees, and tears start streaming down his face. And he just cries. He just sits there crying for a minute. And then finally he says, "It's so true. Everything is true. I can't help anyone. Everyone who I try to help is worse off. I couldn't even help my own wife. I couldn't even save her from herself, from her own inner demons. And that's why it all happened. Everyone who I try to help is worse off because of me. And I didn't want to tell any of you this because I thought that I could be better. I thought that I could help you all through this. I know that you all didn't need me, but I thought that my presence, I could help build your spirits and get us through this. And I thought that in the middle of this thing, there would be souls here that I could help guide out of this horrible place. But that's why I hid all of this from you. But it's not true. I can't do anything.
I think as you're speaking, the voice is like almost repeating, kind of almost like echoing what you're saying, similar to how we saw with the Maniko's voice. But it's different because of the static and stuff. So almost as you're sort of talking, it's sort of talking at the same time, and it's some words merge and some of it doesn't.
And I think some of the words are affirming too. Like, yes, of course, it's your fault she's dead. It's your fault everyone has turned from the path. It's your fault that the souls in here will never be saved. It's your fault, and you have led your friends, your new friends here. Yes, you have done all of this, and it's just affirming all of Thor's self-hatred, I guess.
I wonder then how your character dies, or does somebody want to claim the fate for the chaplain?
Can I? I want, like, this is like not happened on screen. But like Domingo starts to like walk over to Thor, and but it's like not, this isn't like obvious quite at first because it just looks like it's Domingo walking over, but then you realize that Domingo is like walking like backwards, but like kind of not walking backwards, like it's not walking backwards, and you realize that he's like mirrored like horizontally, like he has feet coming out the back of his feet, and he's got like 10 fingers on each hand, and this like backwards walking Domingo comes and like hugs Thor, like embraces tenderly.
Wow. Okay. I love that. Yes. So
I think maybe you could like die beautifully. Like you could.
What I was thinking is that maybe your ears started to bleed or something like that.
Yeah.
I just think it's something soft and simple. Not like, it's not a sudden death, but I think it's just that the corruption of it. But I didn't want to take that from you. So however you would like to. So
Thor, when this backwards Domingo is embracing him, at first the sobs come out even harder, and it feels like just this huge catharsis of emotion just seeping out of him. But then the sobs get much softer and softer until they're really only just whimpers. And Thor says, "Thank you. And I'm sorry." And just collapses.
I think we all stand and watch this scene for a while and just let this happen. Just almost like a vigil.
I'm going to die and end the scene.
There you go.
The chaplain is now one with the zone. Jinsey, that's me, continues to take turns as normal after this, but Thor Connor's humanity, though perhaps not their story, ends here. As the first player to die, Jinsey, that's me, gets a free not so easy card to use in the final judgment.
Hey!
Oh, that's fun.
Hey,
Nice.
Yeah, so what happens after death? Once your character dies, you transition to embodying the zone. You still take normal turns as director, use all the moves and so on. Now is the chance to focus fully on creating the weird, magical, and horrible situations for the remaining players. Check in on their obsessions and phobias so you can incorporate them into the scenes. Got it.
Hey Thor, what happens after we die? Will you become the zone?
Yeah. What?
Okay.
Yeah, so move on to the farm, I'd say.
Move on to the farm.
Oh, look at
Whoops.
Oh, that's good. That's good because I don't know if I could change my body anymore. That's but yeah, bureaucrat Domingo Xavier must die in the coming scene. Same rules as before.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Let's see
Now you're
here.
the director.
I'm the director. Farm. We can either do greenhouses, hydroponics, any sophisticated operation. Growing varietals should not be biologically possible. That sounds cool. Death permeates long rows of industrial feeders. Torn conveyor belts, smashed machinery, and fences ripped open by something powerful. I don't know about that. Muddy road to a quaint, secluded barnyard. Livestock used to range freely. The impression now is more of a slaughterhouse. I know we're making it hard on ourselves by not having any monsters in this, but I've loved this, like, there are signs of life but no life thing. I'm actually going to go 2 here. The death permeates, I know it says death permeates long rows of industrial feeders, but I'm really saying it's more like, yes, we're in this farm and this farm is like completely destroyed by something.
Heck yeah.
But we don't see the thing. But like, yeah, this is like a modern farm. It's not like cute at all. Like there was the farmhouse way back there. This is the actual farm, which aren't as cute. They're actually very industrial looking nowadays. And like, yeah, this is like, let's see, let's get our scene prompt before I go any further. And we're gonna encounter a survivor of the previous expedition on this farm that's just like obliterated.
Ooh.
We're gonna say we see this person, and let's take stock as we see this person. We could describe maybe what's on this farm, what kind of farm it is.
I'm happy to go. So obviously, the rustic manor. This restaurant was like, well, all of our products are grown on site, and it's like, oh, look at Betsy the cow, and it had like a torso thing, but it was literally like a mile also, like literally not that far from the thing, and we've been traveling for hours and days, and we've come across this thing, right? And I think over the top of it, it's that sort of horrific sort of like sign of like whatever this eatery name was, and it's like that same sort of like like the sort of like person like on there, but the sign is weathered and torn, and like the face, the jaw of it has been scratched out or off. So we realized that this literally was like half a mile away, and you could see it from the old photos. You could see it from the porch, and then the zone happened, and we couldn't. And now we're here, and that's where we make the connection that it is part of the rustic thing, and it's. Yeah, there's on the outside of it, this cutesy looking barn, as it were, but dilapidated, decayed, and then the sign, like tours starting at 10 a.m. till 4 a.m. 4 p.m. No, it's not an all night barn, but it's just torn apart, and it's just that sense of dread. And you look at it.
Wow.
We see in the middle of this farm someone with a singed uniform.
Ooh.
Maybe a janitorial uniform?
Oh no.
Oh, and the smell of fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's mixed in with the smell of old manure, fertilizer, and sulfur. The smell of like cooked meat.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm having trouble with this because how would that person have been a previous
No, this is nightmare rules. Nightmare rules.
I'm saying it's a manifestation.
I'm not saying no. I'm just saying I'm struggling.
It doesn't have to be the actual person.
At a glance, it looks like someone in a janitor's uniform.
Yeah, I'm saying this is what you see.
Yeah.
Yes, nightmare rules. They're like far away though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, this is a huge farm.
Mm-hmm.
Like farm sprawl, and so like this is one of those things. I don't know if you've ever seen like I Am Legend when they have the shot of the like mannequin that like moves and you're like not sure it moves. Like that's it's kind of that. It's like this person's far away and it like kind of looks like they're in a singed janitor's outfit.
Yeah.
So I think that's mine, that this is like a vast area.
Yeah. You almost do a double take of it, like going, what the, maybe even your head is like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I say like, I don't know if that movie's great, if I Am Legend is great, but I love when he's like, Frank, how are you here? Why are you here, Frank? He's like asking Frank why he's here. No. Like and I think like maybe my guy, who's Xavier, Mr. Xavier, is also screaming like, how are you here? How are you here?
Yes,
None of you are
yes.
supposed to be alive. How are you here?
Oh,
As a matter of fact, I would say something's not right.
Something's not right.
Something's not right. Something's not right. How are you here? You're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be alive.
I think it's worse than that.
How is it worse than that, Fiona?
I think even though it's very far from you, we see the corpse's head turn to you and say, "You brought me here."
Ooh.
You brought me with you.
Both of me, the both of me.
Mhm.
I sort of like fall onto my knees. You're not sure if they were my original knees or the new knees.
Mhm.
Whose knees are these?
I mean,
Can you please tell me whose
no,
knees?
you know what? That's not active enough.
What are you doing?
I think with new speed that you've never seen out of this person,
Oh.
I sprint towards this figure, just screaming, "You're not supposed to be here. You weren't supposed to be in there. You weren't supposed to be here."
I think we're definitely calling out, but like, wait, don't. Domingo, stop.
I think you maybe go towards him. I hold you back, Hans, and let this happen.
I don't try to lunge. I'm like, I just yell, stop.
Oh, right. I see your soldier instinct to go help is
No,
not. I'm like,
stop.
yeah. No, stop. Yeah, well, then in that case, I will call a not so easy card on Domenico.
Oh, okay. But I can't be stopped by these, right? Okay, but I still okay.
You can't be stopped by it, but
Okay. Your failure has unexpected positive consequences. Okay.
Yeah, no, but your failure has unexpected positive consequences. Yeah.
I almost want to say that you run toward this person and almost embrace them, and then they and you burst into flames. And
I like that.
and it burns away the whole farm facade.
I was kind of going to make it like the unexpected consequence was this person who is not a janitor. It's just a survivor from a previous expedition, like successfully kills me and does not die when I like freak out on them. But I like your weird nightmare shit better.
If they embrace you and like hold you and they whisper in your ear, "I forgive you."
Mm.
You didn't know. You didn't know.
No, but it's
nice.
careful
I like that.
audience members will see that it actually was just one of my faces that said it.
Yeah. The echoing of it. "I forgive you. You are loved." You didn't know. You didn't know. And yeah, I think because it is just your projection of this, what happened. But when myself and Han go up there and find you as this entangled mass, I think like we can't. If anything, we don't recognize who it is. Like it looks like a soldier.
Now there's just like, yeah, three of us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it looks
Oh.
like a soldier.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Mm.
like that.
All right, Ben, resolve your card.
I don't get a free card.
No, because
Yeah.
Gen C was the first to
Yeah, it was
die.
first.
First.
It was-
It is my turn next.
Fiona!
Let's see. Who's it going to be that makes it to the end? Is it myself or Alex?
See,
Oh, we're going to move to the school.
move to school.
Dana, spineless, must die in the coming scene. They cannot be stopped by not so easy cards, only to be claimed by another player. That could be Alex. It's the only person that's else is alive. But after death, whoever dies will continue playing turns as the zone.
This is so crazy that my fear was not being able to save all of you, and I'm going to be the last one alive.
Ooh.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Let's
Part of the cards.
It has to be the second one. So I'll read it out. So the school, pencils neatly squared next to open notebooks, chairs neatly tucked. It's as if the class could come back in at any minute. And I'm going to get the scene prompt to see what we get.
The scene.
So the scene prompt is an anomaly scene. A dangerous anomaly holds way for someone to avoid their phobia. Whose phobia? How does this anomaly help you avoid it? Why is the anomaly's life-threatening danger still better than your phobia? So let's set up the scene. So we've we move past the farm, myself and Hans at this point. I think, like, again, more of the skin is starting to shed quite a bit from my face. I think because I'm pulling at it, Hans. And I think
Picking
the more,
at it, yeah.
yeah, picking at it, maybe unconsciously. I think by this point, the blood has stopped. But I think what is interesting about the skin and the stuff is actually when you look at it closely, it has the different colors, but you realize that the colors, it looks similar to that in the suburbs, that marbly like plastic. It looks like muscle or tissue, but it looks plasticized. It's not longer that bright glow or anything. It looks like as you would see on an atomic model, that sort of like the muscle, the sinew pulled, stretched, because more of the skin has gone.
Sort of the like same unsettling feeling we felt in the suburbs
Mm-hmm,
with the like strangely brand new houses and yeah,
it looks like a brand new like I'm thinking of like the body when you take a face off it, you can see the whole thing on it. But it's just like I think just the cheek and a little bit of the jaw, so you can see a tiny bit of the lip is still there, but you can see where it would go for the teeth.
Wow.
And the school itself, I think we it looks like a very much a traditional school we would see like in the countryside of like it used to be a church and then has turned into like a Sunday school. And I think we stop there to breathe, like to get our senses. Let's do a quick take stock quickly. I think the spores are here, similar to that we saw in the forest. The spores are everywhere, and like it doesn't feel dusty in here or anything like. But this place is just full of that. The mycelium. So as you look up there, you can see little mushrooms like peering out in places, but they look. It's not like taking it over. It's just almost like as if they're part of the decor.
I think faintly we hear the sound of children laughing from outside.
Oh, scary.
But just faintly, like on the edge of consciousness.
Yeah, 100%.
I think we talked about how it was like chilly earlier. I think it is now freezing, but it's that like it's that kind of like freezing that you can like taste in the air. Just so that I'm not doing touch again. But yeah, it is truly uncomfortably and painfully cold here.
I think I don't have anything for this one.
That's all good. Whose phobia and how does the anomaly help you avoid it? I don't know. How's Hans looking and feeling, would you say, Alex?
Han is nervous. He's got his weapon at almost the ready. Fingers hovering near the trigger, not there, but he's looking everywhere. He's looking for something that he can fight. That he can do something with his surroundings and not just have things continue to happen to the people around him.
I think you can see Dana instead of breathing, like she's breathing slowly, but it's like, almost like taking in. You can actually see, like, as she's breathing these deep breaths, the spores sort of going into her mouth and nose, and as she breathes out, they sort of come out as well. She coughs a little bit, and I think in this room, in the schoolroom, we see stuff like a globe that's quite ancient. There's maybe a bit tatty in places where people have like spun it so many times. We see like a chalkboard with like ABCs and times tables. And I think in the corner, we see like a full-on, like upright skeleton. And I think what's interesting about it is that Dana sees it and goes, I just, I am. I don't believe we've been seeing eye to eye, Mr. Bloodless.
Say that. You could say that.
I used to save people. I used to grant them their wishes. I thought I knew what was best for them. But well, sometimes we didn't see eye to eye either. And I used to grant requests, and then the doctor knows best, right? Well, one of my patients escaped and reported me. They said I had performed unethical experimentation, and I was, you've already agreed to going under. Let me do my work. Obviously, I struggle with the and I'll touch my own face, and a bit more blood sort of comes down. I struggle with the viscera, perhaps, but I know what I want. I know what should happen. It's just... And I look towards the skeleton at this point. I start to move towards it. And I'm still, tugging at my skin. And I think you can see, Hans, I'm taking, a bit of, sinew, and I pull it off completely.
Ooh.
Realistically, underneath, we're all just the same.
Sure.
And I start to dig into my flesh and start to tear it away whilst looking at this skeleton. Is there anything that you do?
What can I do? What do you do?
I'm just checking.
Doc, stop. No. Don't rip your face apart.
Can I make a suggestion?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, please.
So, Hans' phobia is that sometimes strength doesn't matter, like some things you can't fight.
Mm-hmm.
And so, perhaps this dangerous anomaly holds a way for you to avoid your phobia. So, I think avoiding your phobia would mean being able to fight a danger, right? Am I right about that?
Yeah. That's good.
This seems like a pretty big danger.
Mm-hmm.
You saying I put a couple shells in the dock?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying this seems like a pretty big danger that could be solved by avoiding your phobia of not fighting.
Yeah.
That's just from the zone, though. The zone is saying that.
I just want to sigh.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll look up and level my gun at the dock.
Mm-hmm.
And say, Doc, I'm sorry. But baby, you shouldn't have been on this expedition after all.
Oh, that's not so easy, Alec.
Oh, no.
Not so easy.
Not so easy, motherfucker. Stop right there.
Stop right there.
No, but the zone mutates you. You feel it asking you what you've long wanted, and it gives it to you.
Interesting.
Let's see what my mutation is. 15. Mucus, moss, or clockwork?
You become gun.
I become gun. Is it too crazy to say that I go clockwork and it gives me a gun arm?
No, I think that's fine.
Nope. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking
The
about
zone
you
accepts.
wanting strength, right? And being afraid. So.
Yeah. It strips away the emotion from you. You become more of a machine.
So how does this manifest into me not shooting the dock? Because it stops my action.
It stops your action. Maybe you hold up your gun and it starts to hurt, like it feels too heavy, perhaps. It's turning, and I think you suddenly are concentrating on yourself as maybe those 3 lines in your chest, you start to and then maybe you feel that toxicity comes out, the yellowness, and you feel your teeth starting to almost sing a little bit as you start to go yellow, and then that sort of metal, that sort of and you can feel your bones repositioning, and
my arm starts to kind of melt and meld around the gun.
Yeah, it almost becomes like a claw essentially holding this sort of barrel. And I think as you're doing that, you're so concentrated on the fact that you don't see the fact that I've torn straight through of my face and I've pulled out my tongue.
Yeah.
Tongue stuff.
And like I'm pulling away all the bits and pieces until eventually I'll cut through. I think you're just left. We cut to just my body being on the floor, having torn the majority of my face off.
You surgeried yourself.
I surgeried myself through fingers alone. No thread, no nothing.
Or the zone surgeried you.
And you're just a crystal skeleton, like the skeleton you were looking at.
I think with the eyes, and you can see a little bit of I've even dug a little bit into the skull, so you see like a crack through the brain. You know, again, I'm thinking like proper anatomical, and all the sinew that is sort of left. It is almost like weird plasticine colors. There's like blues and reds, but almost like bright new, as if it's like you just bought it out of a package.
That's great.
Nice.
The surgeon is now one with the zone.
Did you die?
What happened?
Are you
Nice.
okay?
Alex, it's your turn, my friend.
My turn. Gotta move to
Guys,
center.
I think Alex is going to make it. I think Alex is going to be okay.
Oh, yeah,
We'll
for
see.
sure.
We'll
We'll
find
see.
out.
The soldier, Han Bloodless. 5 toxicity. The soldier is at the center. Here at the heart of the zone, the soldier will finally be able to express the wish that brought them all this way. What will the zone do with that wish? That's for everyone else to decide, using the not-so-easy cards gathered along the journey. The center. The center part 1. The lone survivor has made it to the legendary center of the zone. First, define the center together. It is staggering beauty, incomprehensible horror, alien strangeness, or something else.
So it's kind of like a take stock kind of thing. So, but Alex gets to go first.
Oh man, I get to go first.
Yeah.
Can I decide someone else goes first?
You're the director technically, so you can describe your character getting into somewhere, and then we can go from there, and then you can go again at the end if that's easiest.
Han leaves the back of the school after seeing whatever he just saw. Someone rip their own skin off. And he runs out, and it is a clearing like the one they entered the zone.
Ooh.
Almost identical. Back to it. And for Han, it is again full of that dust and that gun smoke and all the sound. But this time the sound doesn't go away.
Mm.
It just persists.
We hear snatches of the sound, and maybe before Hans thought it was of his time in warfare, hearing the last moments of colleagues or before something big happened, but actually what we hear now is a mixture of bits of conversations he has had along the journey to here. So conversations he's had with the bureaucrat, the chaplain, and the surgeon, just repeated over and over again, as if on a loop.
Interspersed with this are conversations with other people that you've had that we have not seen so far, as if like you had a conversation with a person and then completely forgot they existed. That like the entire, like suggesting like the entire time we've like not seen any people, but actually there've been people the entire time.
Oh my God, yes.
And so you talk to someone standing, like you talking to someone standing at the grill in the city block, and you talk to some kids that are like kicking the ball around in the mansion backyard, and
You're giving a presentation to like career day at the school, and the kids are like cheering.
I love that. That smoke is still in the air. It's still a bit difficult to see, but you do look around the clearing, and all around the clearing are clumps of mushrooms, just around the entire perimeter.
Almost like a big fairy circle.
A big fairy circle,
Ooh,
exactly.
Let's meet the center then, Alex.
Meet the center. The center part 2. Han, you came into the zone driven by obsession. which was be the hero, another chance to save someone. Do a short flashback about the origin of this obsession. Does it still drive your wish? Then describe how the zone tells you that it's ready to hear this wish. We flash back to unnamed war that I'm fighting with my brother. We're in a foxhole. We're taking heavy fire. And he's crying. You know, he's scared. He wants to make it home so bad. You know, we fought so many times, but this one feels different. It feels like we're not coming back from it. And I keep telling him, it's going to be fine. We're going to get out of this. You just hold on to me. We're going to make it through. But then we're shelled. We're shelled hard. And we have to run. And so we get up out of the foxhole and we take off and we try to find cover, but there's not any. And at the last second, I find a foxhole, another safe space. And I look back to reach out and yell at Chewie, here, come here. And then he gets hit. And he goes down and I can't get to him. It's either get in the foxhole or go to him and die. And Han goes into the foxhole.
How does the zone tell you it's ready to hear your wish?
My brother's in the middle of the clearing.
All right.
What is the soldier's wish?
I think you get to write this.
Ouch.
I will say I've never got to
Jiminy.
the zone, so I don't know what this bit is. So,
Hmm.
oof.
Oh.
So Han's wish is, I want my brother back.
The audience can't see this, but it like live typed it, which is
Yeah.
extremely
That's good.
powerful.
Yeah, really cool.
Say the wish out loud and click here to start the zone's judgment. I want my brother back.
It's not so easy.
The zone players, you're now on the other side of the not so easy. Ben, you got the most not so easy cards while alive. These are now the judgment deck. You will decide how the zone treats the wish by choosing a card from this deck. Jency and Fiona, you'll influence the final judgment by adding one card each to the judgment deck and describing a possible way things might go.
It's from our own not so easy cards as well. So let's start the judgment. So, Jency, you will choose a not so easy card that you have. And then I believe at this point, then you can say why it's not so easy. So, like, yes, but, and then a consequence to this wish, essentially, almost like a monkey's paw type thing.
Okay. I'm going with yes, but yes, you get your brother back. But he has no memories of you.
Oh, Jency, how dare?
I'm sorry.
How dare?
I'm sorry.
That's really good. So, Ben, keep a note of that. That's one you'd like to use. I'm going to pick no, and so no, you don't get your brother back. And you will remember every single face of each person that you have failed to save every morning when you look in the mirror.
Ouch. Ouch. Thanks, Fiona. Ouch.
And I end my turn. So, Ben, the final judgment is yours. Does the soldier get their wish? So, obviously, we've given you two options, but you can click any of the cards that you have and then describe what the outcome is.
It feels so stinky to not pick yours, though. Like the ones you
You
guys
don't
just
have
were.
to.
You don't. No. We're just
not
giving
at
you
all. That's not
options. Yeah.
I'm going to say
Yeah.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
but you relive this memory like over and over again of
Mhm.
going back into the foxhole.
Mm.
going to the foxhole to be with him and comforting him while he's crying. And so you get to have your brother back, but like only in this moment over and over and over again, like in this clearing, in this but you're like with him forever. But then the soldier is mysteriously found outside the zone. Describes what happens with their wish. You may choose to incorporate influences from the other person who embody the zone, the other players who embody the zone. But like, I think like in your mind, can we say like, yes, maybe you play through this memory many times, hundreds of times, thousands of times, millions of times. And every time you realize you're given the option to either forget him forever or stay with him forever. And over you choose stay with him.
Yeah.
And you've lived eons, an uncountable time in this loop. But I think maybe there's not really an answer for like how this ends. Like, but you are like you, the soldier, are mysteriously found outside the zone by someone, by maybe the next team that gets sent in. They find you and you are alive.
Maybe we see you being put in the back of like a medical truck, and you know you're like physically fine, like dehydrated, clearly have been without rations for a little while, and that they're taking your blood pressure and stuff like that.
Do I still have my mutations?
I was going to say no.
Okay.
I'm going to say no.
Yeah. And then the camera sort of looks into the rearview mirror and we see your brother. There's your reflection as you look through. Like in the position of where you are.
So I am my brother.
Yes.
You see, I think your brother's persona has replaced you in the body.
Oh, I love that so much.
But it's a suggestion. Again, I want to make sure because Alex has got the epilogue as well.
No, I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
Take us home, Alex.
All right. Give us an epilogue about the soldier's life after the zone, using the final judgment as your starting point. I think that after the soldier's found outside of the zone, he puts down his gun. He decides that he can't keep doing this self-sacrifice, trying to save everybody. Constant war fighting. And he gives that part of his life up, and he goes into veteran affairs, trying to help other, GIs and other guys coming back from situations like that and put them in a better headspace without having to go into a zone and become their brother.
Mm-hmm. All right. Unless there's anything else anyone else wants to add. That was the zone. Well done, team. Really good
job, everybody.
Well done.
Nice. That
Really
was
good
so much fun.
The What Am I Rolling podcast was created, recorded, and edited by me, Fiona Howard. This episode's players were Jency, Alex, and Ben from Roleplay Retcon, a TTRPG podcast that remakes the movies that let you down. Go check out their show over on the One-Shot Network and wherever you listen to podcasts. This episode's RPG was The Zone by Rafter Miko. You can find out more information about The Zone and grab your own copy on the official website. That's thezonerpg.com. The theme music was 8-Bit March by Twin Musicon of twinmusicon.org, licensed under a Creative Commons 4.0 license. If you want to find out more about the podcast, check out the website. That's www.wairpodcast.com. Fancy getting in touch? Just email the podcast at whatamIrollingpodcast@gmail.com. And finally, follow the podcast on social media. You can find us at WAIR_podcast for latest news on upcoming episodes. All the links are in the episode show notes, including a link to our Discord. And remember, adventurers need not apply.